The reason for the WrestleMania 42 location change has been revealed. Plus, we have an update on a WWE star following an injury on this past Monday's Raw. And our AEW adding some new titles. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. WrestleMania 42 is on the move, no longer taking place in New Orleans on the 11th and 12th of April, but now taking place, by the looks of things, on the 17th and the 18th in Las Vegas once more. The home of this past WrestleMania will be the home of WrestleMania coming up as well. A Wrestling Observer gives us some details on this. Andrew, what do you reckon the reason might be for Vegas getting Mania again?
Well, what do I reckon to it?
No, what do you reckon the reason might be?
What do I reckon? Well, I think it's very similar to what you said earlier today, as I mentioned on the first news video. It's all about that bag.
Oh, it is about the bag. I like money. It is, of course, money related. The Observer saying the decision was made partially because this year's WrestleMania made so much money overall in Las Vegas from all sources that they could not make that level of money in New Orleans. The other is that the company loved having it in Las Vegas because key TKO executives live there, and Nick Khan grew up there as well. So it's just like, oh, we'll have it on our back door this year.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you are, a major player in a multi-billion-dollar company, then of course you can just decide to have the biggest event of the sports entertainment world just round the corner from your house, I guess. But it's not going to stop at WrestleMania 42, according to The Observer, is it?
Yeah, apparently not. So The Observer said the plan is now to run WrestleMania on a regular basis in the city, not necessarily every year, but frequently. The idea is that the city wants to have a major destination sports event every year, and by definition, they're looking at the Super Bowl, the Final Four, the College Football National Championship Final, and WrestleMania. So we'll be looking for Mania any year that they don't have one of the other three events.
So WrestleMania could become a key part of Las Vegas going forward. It will obviously go in different places, but always returning back to Vegas.
That's like, I kind of understand from a perspective, because since obviously like the TKO merger and everything, it feels like they want to sort of present maybe more as like a traditional kind of sports thing in some aspects. But then also, I know as well here it mentions that not every year, but I like the whole reveal of the theme of the sets from the different places that they're emanating from. I kind of like that a bit. I mean, it's not that we're not going to get that anymore, but
they'll have to mix it up a little bit and change it up if they're going to keep doing shows in Vegas.
Absolutely, yeah.
So WrestleMania 40 looking to come from Vegas. Apologies, by the way, earlier on today I said WrestleMania's 4 and 5 came from Vegas. Of course they didn't. They came from Atlantic City, New Jersey. I'd like to apologise to anybody that suffered major whiplash rushing to the comments to tell a man on the internet that he was wrong about something. Apologies to you. Meanwhile, Monday Night Raw, Zoe Stark suffered quite the injury, springboarding into the ring, landing on her knee, and her time in that triple threat match suddenly comes to an end. And we had an update from Zoe Stark where she said thank you for all the comments and suggested that the absence is going to be for a while. She's given us an update, or we had an update rather, on Zoe Stark from Fightful Select.
Yeah, they say the initial fear backstage was a tear that would require surgery, though we haven't heard if there's been an official diagnosis. Those that we've spoken to backstage say they're preparing to not have Zoe Stark for the remainder of the year.
That's tough.
It is.
It's just generally another blow for Zoe Stark, who's lost her teammates in the releases, so that's no more. And now she looks like she's going to be sitting out for the rest of the year. I hope when she comes back we have some big and wonderful plans for Zoe Stark. I'd have made her Women's Intercontinental Champion.
I will very much hope that when she does come back, that's the place that she's put within, because I think she'd fit that role perfectly.
She really, really would. Zoe Stark spends some time on the sidelines. A TNA star enters the free agency. Who are we talking about, Andrew?
We're talking about Ace Austin. He has, as Tom mentioned there, departed TNA Wrestling after the expiration of his contract. Reports from last month suggested that the two sides had begun negotiations over a new deal, with TNA hopeful of retaining Austin's services. However, it seems things did not go to plan for TNA. PW Insider reporting that Austin's deal deal has elapsed, with the two sides unable to agree on terms for a new deal. However, Scott D'Amore, writing for Yahoo Sports, Scott D'Amore stated that Austin has exited TNA amicably, with D'Amore suggesting Austin is ready to step up for the next phase of his career and inevitably become a massive star in wrestling.
He leaves TNA and that incredible run after starting when they were Impact in 2019. He leaves as a 3-time X Division champion, former Super X Cup winner, and a 3-time World Tag Team champion alongside ABC partner Chris Bay. I kind of hoped that we would see Bay and Austin team once more in TNA. It felt like that was the right story. I also thought that maybe we would get... this was the opportunity to really do something special with Ace Austin, like a prolonged push in that company, kind of carrying the torch for Chris Bay in his absence to build something for when Bay gets back into the ring. Hopefully, when Bay gets back into the ring. But whatever he does next, I think there's still so much miles on the road for Ace Austin. I think he's got a long way, a long journey ahead, in the sense that he has a lot of miles still to cover.
He's set, isn't he, in terms of everything that he's got within his arsenal. Obviously, moves, he can do everything, like the more technical stuff and the high flying stuff. His heel work is amazing. The slimy heel that he can be
he's great as
is
a slimy heel.
so good. And yeah, wherever he goes next and whatever he does, I think, as Scott mentions there, he's inevitably going to become a big old star.
Yeah, D'Amore had high praise for Ace Austin in the D'Amore drop. He also talked in his new column that there were rumors around CM Punk joining TNA that he confirmed to be true. He said, "It wasn't a well-kept secret that I tried to sign Phil CM Punk to TNA after things with AEW fell apart. I knew it was a long shot. I knew I was asking him to work in smaller arenas that he'd had in a long time. He listened, he was interested, he never big times TNA once, and he conducted himself the way we'd all wish a professional would. Ultimately, he went back to WWE, which of course is where he belongs." I remember when he was backstage at TNA. I think it was either Bound for Glory or Slammiversary. I think if known by the end of the year, it was end of the year, so it would have been Bound for Glory. It was after he left AEW, and I was like, is he just going to... He could just walk out. Just pop out.
Could you imagine if that had have happened as well? That would have been huge.
It'd have been a hellacious moment. And I do genuinely think that there'd have been some fun to be had with CM Punk in TNA. Who knows, with this relationship that WWE have with TNA, it's not out of the realms of possibility that we could see that.
Yeah, maybe so.
It could be a thing. AEW presenting Double or Nothing this weekend. Live reactions with Ross and Sam at youtube.com/cultaholic/live, plus WTF moments and what happened at Double or Nothing coming up too. Ahead of Double or Nothing, Tony Khan hosted a media call before the show. A few interesting tidbits coming out of that call.
Yes, Tony reveals that AEW has tightened up their production as of late with fewer voices. He also praised new signing Kevin Knight, and if he'd known what a big part of the recent TV he was going to be, he wouldn't have had him compete in New Japan's Best of Super Junior either. Khan tells Dave Meltzer as well that there's no domestic TV deals to update on, but they are currently looking at international TV deals in some markets.
Sean Ross Sapp then asked Tony Khan about the possibility of AEW women's tag team titles. Tony Khan says that is a goal of his and something that he wants to do. He also wants to rebuild the tag team divisions across the board as well, and absolutely, because there's, it's a funny one with tag teams in both AEW and WWE. You have these periods where the divisions are really focused and hot, and then you have divisions where they're not. And so this weekend, it's the Sons of Texas. It's the Ring of Honor Tag Champions challenging the Hurt Syndicates for the AEW World Tag Team titles. But women's tag team titles, I think, again, it's another belt to add to AEW. But I think you need more women's tag teams in order to build a women's tag team division. I think you've got some people that you could potentially work that with, but not loads at the moment.
That's it. I guess, there's always going to be sort of people on your roster that might not necessarily get much TV time. Maybe putting them in a tag team is a good way to do it, and to have them have something to work towards as well, I think isn't necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a terrible thing at all. So Double or Nothing live reactions coming up on Sunday here on Cultaholic, but on Saturday it is live reactions to Saturday night's main event with Adam Pacitti. Could R-Truth win the big one? You can watch along with Adam at youtube.com/cultaholic/live. And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Keys.
Love you, bye.